Now, transitive relation. Actually, it is a bit confusing to many students, but I'll give very good examples. With that, you will never say that transitive relation checking is difficult. Okay, a relation R on A is said to be transitive relation. A relation R on A is said to be transitive relation for every x comma y and y comma z belongs to R. You please observe this part. First, in the given relation, we will check x comma y, y comma z exist in the relation or not. Here, what point you need to observe x comma y, y comma z? You observe this first order pair ends with y, second order pair starts with y. Such type of order pair we'll identify in the relation. If such type of order pair exists in the relation, then we'll look that x comma z is there in the relation or not. X comma y belongs to R and y comma z also belongs to R. Then we will check that x comma z belongs to R or not. Right. Like that, you need to check that for every such pair of order pairs. You can understand this more clearly with the help of examples. You observe, I taken set A as 1, 2, 3, then I written A cross A. Now, I'll take one relation on this set. I request you to watch this transitive full thing so that you won't confuse. Okay, right? Now, I taken one subset of A cross A, see 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3, 2 comma 1, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 3, yes. So, this is a subset of A cross A. So, this is a relation on A. Now, my question is how to check this relation is transitive or not. To check transitive relation or not, first you need to look for x comma y, y comma z exist in the relation or not. If such pair doesn't exist, x comma y, y comma z doesn't exist, in that case we say that it is transitive. Right? Please try to catch this point. It is a catchy point actually. Many students confuse in this. If you identify x comma y, y comma z in the relation, then you look for x comma z. Further, we will say whether it is transitive or not. In case x comma y, y comma z, we will find x comma y. Respective y comma z doesn't exist in the relation. In that case, we say that that relation is transitive. With the examples, you will understand that more clearly. Now, how to check this? First, listen carefully. You check like this. First, you take one order pair. Okay, this is like x comma y. Now you see that this ends with 2, right? This ends with 2. Now you observe that any other starts with 2 other than this, any other starts with 2. You need to check here. Any other starts with 2? Yes. As this ends with 2, this starts with 2, this starts with 2. That means we are able to find x comma y, y comma z, right? Okay. 1 comma 2 is there. This ends with 2 and this starts with 2. So this is like x comma y, y comma z. You can understand this is like x comma y, y comma z. What is x comma z? X comma z is 1 comma 3. Is 1 comma 3 is there in this relation? You please check. 1 comma 3 is there in this relation. Here, yes. Yes, 1 comma 3 is there in this relation. So for x comma y, y comma z belongs to R, x comma z is present in this relation. So this relation is transitive. Can we say like that? No, you cannot say like that because you need to check for every such pair of order pairs. For every such, you just checked only for these two, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3, x comma z is 1 comma 3. You just checked only for these two. Like that, you need to check for every such pair. I hope you are understanding. So here, what happened? This ends with 2. This starts with 2. Yes, checked here. Now, you can observe this ends with 2. This one also starts with 2. So, this is also like x comma y, y comma z. I hope you are understanding. For every such order pair, you need to check. Okay, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1. In this case, what is x comma z? X comma z is 1 comma 1. Is 1 comma 1 is there in this relation? Is 1 comma 1 is there in this relation? No, 1 comma 1 is not there in this relation. So because of this example, you can say that this relation is not transitive. I hope you understand. When it is transitive, we have to do so much of work. What is that? For every such order pair, you need to look that x comma z is there in the relation or not. When it is not transitive, actually things are easy. Why? Just give the counter example. In this case, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1 is there in this relation, but 1 comma 1 is not in this relation. Therefore, this relation is not transitive. Like that, we can say directly. So, what we say finally, I'll name it as R1. R1 is not transitive. What is the reason? Because 1 comma 2 belongs to R, 2 comma 1 belongs to R implies 1 comma 1 does not belongs to this relation. 1 comma 2 is there, 2 comma 1 is there, but 1 comma 1 is not in this relation. That's why we say that this relation is not transitive. Now you observe I taken one more relation on A. 1 comma 2 is there in A cross A. 3 comma 1 is there in A cross A. So R2 is subset of A cross A. So R2 is a relation on A. My question is this relation is transitive or not? In this transitive, please observe all the examples, then only you can understand this transitive relation. Now, how to check this relation is transitive or not? First thing, come to this 1 comma 2, right? This ends with 2. Now, you check that any other order pair starts with 2 in this. No other order pair starts with 2. But actually, what is the definition of transitive relation? For every x comma y comma z belongs to R, if such order pair exists, then we look for x comma z. If such order pair doesn't exist, in that case, we say that that particular order pair passed the transitive test. Here you see, this ends with 2. Any other starts with 2. Nothing starts with 2. So in that case, we say that this particular order pair passed the transitive test, right? So for x comma y, we are unable to find y comma z. If y comma z exists, then we'll look for x comma z, right? Okay, so this element passed the transitive test. Now you observe this 3 comma 2, right? 3 comma 2, this ends with 2. Any other order pair starts with 3 other than this ends with 2. Now you observe, is there any other order pair other than this which starts with 2? No. In that case, what we say? This satisfies transitive property. I hope you are understanding. If there exists x comma y comma z in the relation, then only we look for x comma z. Otherwise, we say that that particular element passed the transitive test. Here, when I am trying to check for this x comma y comma z exists or not, we didn't find y comma z. So in this case, we say that this element passed the transitive test. When it comes to this order pair x comma y, any other starts with 2 means there is no other starts with 2. So in that case, we say that this elements also passed the transitive test. So finally, we say that this relation is transitive. Many students confuse such type of examples. Please, you make sure that if for x comma y comma z doesn't exist. In that case, this passes the transitive test. Similarly, for 3 comma 2, no other order pair starts with 2 in this relation. So we say that this relation is transitive. So this relation is transitive. This is one of the best example to understand this transitive relation. You observe I taken one relation on set A. When we say this is a relation on set A, you observe R3 is subset of A cross A or not. 1 comma 1, yes, 1 comma 1 is there. 1 comma 2, yes, it is there. 2 comma 3, yes, it is there. 3 comma 1, yes, 3 comma 1 is there. 1 comma 3, yes, 1 comma 3 is there. 3 comma 3, yes, 3 comma 3 is there. R3 is subset of A cross A. As R3 is subset of A cross A, we can say that R3 is relation on A. Now my question is this relation is transitive relation or not? One very important point. See, how to check relation is transitive or not. First, we'll take this 1 comma 1 and as this ends with 1, we look for any other starts with 1 or not. Like that, we'll start. But the thing is, whenever we are checking transitive relation for such elements 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, x comma x, 3 comma 3, such type of elements always satisfies transitive condition. You see here 1 comma 1, this ends with 1. You observe any other order pair which starts with 1. Here this starts with 1. You look here, 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2. What is x comma z in this case? X comma z is 1 comma 2. Now you observe 1 comma 2 is there in this relation. Yes, here it is. 1 comma 2 is there here. That's why this type of elements always satisfies transitive condition. You look here, I'll take x comma x and x comma z. What is the condition here? Transitive condition. This ends with x, this starts with x. What is the transitive condition? X comma z is there in this relation, means x comma z always present in this only. You observe this, x comma z, z comma z. This ends with z, this starts with z. When we look for transitive condition, we will look for x comma z. X comma z is there na here. I hope you are understanding. This type of elements always satisfies transitive condition. This type of elements always satisfies symmetric condition also. I hope you are understanding. So 1 comma 1 is there. This ends with 1. What are the other starts with 1? No need to check like that. Even though if you check, it satisfies. For example, I'll check here. This ends with 1. This starts with 1, right? Now what is x comma z? X comma z is 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 is there in this relation. Yes, 1 comma 2 is there in this relation. Okay, this ends with 1. Any other starts with 1? Yes, here it is there. It starts with 1. What is x comma z? X comma z is 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3 is there in this. Yes, here it is. Yes, here it is. So such type of order pairs, 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, x comma x, such type of order pairs always satisfies transitive condition. No need to check transitive condition for that particular relation. I hope you are understanding. So this order pair passes the transitive test. Now come to this. This ends with 2. Now you need to look, any other order pair is there which starts with 2. Yes, here this starts with 2. Okay, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3. There exists x comma y comma z. What is x comma z? X comma z is 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3 is there in this relation. Yes, here it is. 1 comma 3 is there in this relation. See, you cannot say this relation is transitive because of this example. 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3 implies 1 comma 3 belongs to the relation. That's why this is transitive. If you say like that, it is wrong. You need to check. You need to check for every such pair of order pairs. I checked this. This passes transitive test. Now I am checking this element. This ends with 2. I am looking that any other starts with 2. This is the only order pair starts with 2. This is x comma y comma z. X comma z is 1 comma 3. Yes, 1 comma 3 is there in this relation. Okay. So what I'll say here, I can say that this element passed the transitive test. That's it. Okay. Now come to this. Now this ends with 3. Right? Now you need to look that any other starts with 3. You see here, this starts with 3. This starts with 3. First, I'll check this with this. This ends with 3. This starts with 3. Now, what is order pair x comma z? X comma z is 2 comma 1. 2 comma 1 is there in this relation? No. So here you can stop and you can say that this relation is not transitive. Please catch the point. When it is transitive, you need to check for every such pair of order pairs, right? So as we identified one order pair x comma y comma z says that x comma z does not belong to this relation, then we say that this relation is not transitive. So R3 is not transitive. What is the reason why it is not transitive? Because 2 comma 3 is there in the relation and 3 comma 1 is also there in the relation, but 2 comma 1 does not belongs to the relation. Because of this, this relation is not transitive. I hope you understand why this relation is not transitive. You observe this relation R4. It is a relation on A because 1 comma 1 is there in A cross A, 2 comma 2 is there in A cross A, 3 comma 3 is also there in A cross A. So R4 is a subset of A cross A. So R4 is a relation on A. Now I need to check this relation is transitive or not. See, we'll check for every order pair. You see this 1 comma 1. This is a 1 comma 1. This ends with 1. Any other starts with 1? No other starts with 1. And moreover, we know that this type of order pairs always satisfies transitive condition, right? no other starts with 1, so we say that this pass transitive test. Now come to this ends with 2, any other starts with 2, no, we say that this pass the transitive test. And this ends with 3, any other starts with 3, no. So in that case what we say, this element passes the transitive test, all the elements passes the transitive test. So in this case we say that this relation is transitive. Now I taken one more relation. It is a subset of A cross A. So now I need to check this relation is transitive or not. Okay. Come to the first one. This ends with 2. Correct? This ends with 2. Now you need to look that any other starts with 2. Yes, here it is there. It starts with 2. 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3. What is x comma z? X comma z is 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3 is there in this relation? Yes, 1 comma 3 is there in this relation. From this you cannot say that it is transitive. We can say that just this order pair passes the transitive test. Like that you need to check for every x comma y comma z in the relation. Okay. Now come to second order pair. This ends with 3. Any other order pair is there which starts with 3? No other order pair starts with 3. So we say that this order pair passes the transitive test. Now come to this. This ends with 3. Is there any other order pair starts with 3? No. In this case, we say that this passes the transitive test. And come to this. See, this is like 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3. In such cases, what we say, this type of elements always passes the transitive test. If you want, you can check, but no need to check. See here, this ends with 1. Any other starts with 1, this starts with 1, this starts with 1. First, we'll check with this one. This is 1 comma 1, this ends with 1, this starts with 1. What is x comma z here? X comma z is 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 is there here. Now you see here 1 comma 1, 1 comma 3. I hope you are understanding. 1 comma 1, 1 comma 3. What is x comma z? X comma z is 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3 is there here. So that's why I'll say that for such type of elements, which type of elements? X comma x, 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, such type of elements, no need to check the transitive condition. This always passes the transitive condition. So this element passes the transitive test. So R4, R5 is transitive. I hope you understand this transitive relation. What is transitive relation? How to check the transitive relation?